And welcome along for event 2 of 2 here in Baku. It's time for the second race of the doubleheader. I'm your commentator for the event, Ryan Searles. I should have went over that in Brazil, but I didn't. My apologies, folks. If you're not aware of who I am, I commentate other leagues, not just BRL. I used to race here in Season 1 and Season 2, I believe, but I don't league race anymore. I only commentate. That's okay. It's a bunch of fun. In the meantime, I should also remind you that I used to be the head steward here last season for a little bit. Then I stepped down. So there's a little bit of background on who your commentator is for tonight's event. Either way, let's talk about Baku. Let's talk about Baku. And Brazil, in fact, because we just did Brazil. We had EX Valsena win from pole position there and end up taking 25 points because of it. Mihinovic finished P2 after having his troubles. He had a qualifying ban, spun earlier on, and then ended up coming back just short of the win. And DSM Yonder, who almost played it perfect, finished on the podium and leads the championship. His team, McLaren, lead the Constructors' Championship and the Combined Constructors' Championship. So that's nice. But they need to do what they can to hold on, though, with a race like Baku, considering Lajovic DNF'd his teammate in the most recent run at Brazil. And we'll find out if that recent run with McLaren getting podiums continues. They've had podiums for 3 races in a row to start the season. The only team to have 3 consecutive podiums to start off the season. Red Bull got their second in Brazil with Senna, and Williams ended up getting a podium for themselves too. 6 different teams do so in Tier 2 this season thus far. So fair play. In the meantime, let's talk about the rest of the Tier 2 calendar. Let's give you folks a little rundown on that. So we've got, after tonight, Silverstone for 26 laps around there. After Silverstone is Spain. And then our second doubleheader, consisting of Singapore and Belgium. Then we end off the championship season for Tier 2 in the month of May by going to Austin, Texas, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and we finish off in Abu Dhabi under the lights there. Really, we finish off the season 3 different times under the lights, so that will be nice. But it looks like we're getting underway here with only 14 this time instead of 15 for the event. Let's give you a little rundown on the weekend thus far. We had a crazy race in Tier 3 and Tier 1 with Brazil and Baku. We had Drifting win in Tier 3 at Brazil, but could be getting it taken away. Chubby won in Tier 1 at Brazil. And you also had Callum and DHL take Baku. DHL won Baku in Tier 1 yesterday, very controversially. He squeezed Egg toward the pit wall. It's a matter of if the stewards feel like he gave him enough room. Egg's car, though, still while crashing, crossed the line. So there will probably spark a little bit of debate there on whether or not he ends up getting rewarded with a podium finish. And if DHL ends up getting penalized from that, does he get awarded with the win, though? Because, technically, if he crossed the line second, which he technically did, and he gets it back, and DHL gets penalized, Egg could win the race based on having 3 wheels cross the line. So, who knows? We'll figure out if that does happen or not. But in the meantime, round 4 Baku. We're about to be a third of the way done of the Tier 2 season in just a moment here, once this event is done. 18 laps aboard us. And this circuit is so tricky for getting back on the power. You have Turn 2, which is a tricky traction zone. You got, out of the exit of Turn 6, a tricky traction zone. You've also got as well Turn 7. Turn 16 as well. Another one. It's tough to get on the power here. Track limits we won't see a whole lot of tonight, but I won't be surprised if we at least end off the night having 1 or 2 drivers in the penalty club. And time to get qualifying underway here. We'll see if we have any repeat pole sitters. Our 3 pole sitters thus far this season include Milred, Racer, and Senna, all coming from 3 different teams: Alpine, AlphaTauri, and Red Bull. Lajovic as well is one of the drivers looking to have a better race in Baku compared to Brazil. He ended up retiring in the pit lane after he was involved in an early collision. Mihanovic serving his second of the qualifying bans. So Lajovic, because of the one-shot qualifying that he was going to have, it got turned into a quali ban because there is only one-shot qualifying. So he got to serve his qualifying ban in Brazil and then have a clean sheet for Baku. And he's now battling in a top 5 battle between now what is Callum, Yonder, Lajovic, X3BD, and Senna for pole position. We're going to watch the castle section a lot throughout this event because a lot of drivers tend to hit that wall. And it's a lot easier to do so this game cycle with that section being a lot tighter. No curbing on that right side exit. Now Lajovic coming through here into the heavy braking of turn 15. Wall's much closer. Let's turn on the telemetry, folks. Give us your prediction for pole position, let alone the races for... or this race for tonight, folks. But it's going to be a drag race in the line between EXFL Senna and Lajovic. Right now, Senna is winning that drag race, and now it's going to be a matter of who presses DRS first and who ends up having the straight line speed to the line. It is going to be a neck-and-neck race. However, Senna wins out on that one, becoming the first repeat pole sitter of the season. So fair play to Senna, picking up pole position by 2.5 tenths over Lajovic. Lajovic desperately needed that after his race in Brazil. Same with guys like EXFL Russell in the top 5. Yonder makes it a McLaren top 3 with putting his car there too. X3BD is 4th. Russell running out the top 5. Second Mercedes of Ben is in the top 6, first 3 rows. Ridian, Milred, Callum, Big B. Round out our top 10, but watch out for Mihanovic at the back of the grid once again for a second time after his qualifying bans. We'll see how he copes with the pressure. None of you watching, give us some predictions for the event. We've got soft to medium being the most likely strategy during the 18 laps of this event. However, your pit stop loss around here, 18 seconds. ERS gain back in the pit lane, 15%. Not as much as Brazil, so you have to be a lot more careful in comparison to how you use your battery, not getting enough of it back in the pit lane. A lot of drivers had trouble conserving battery by the end of the race. Yonder used all of his and then got overtaken the next lap in Brazil, just in that ending. So we'll find out what happens this time in Baku. It is 18 laps on board for the event. Find out who gets it done in Baku. Here come the lights. 5 red lights here for Baku. Will we see the usual chaos happen? We'll find out as the lights go out, and away we go. Lajovic trying to now cover off his teammate. He does, and now Yonder's got pressure from X3BD side by side for turn 1. You got side by side about 4 rows deep here, and the battling continues for 3rd place, and a little bit of a squeeze from the Haas in the background. That was Ben trying to gain some spots after starting very much in the back, and Mihanovic's gained 2 spots, so fair play from that qualifying ban that he had, and now Russell challenging Yonder, Callum challenging Ridian. Tons of battling into turn 3 where they have to get the braking right, and there was contact. That is Callum into the wall, and that's caused Big B in the back because of the stack up to lose tons of places, and he's the cause of the yellow flags, while Mihanovic has made his way through and into the top 10 from the qualifying ban. So surely everyone will have to watch out for him. Callum lagging a little bit, so we'll watch to see if that connection gets any better. But in the meantime, second between Lajovic and Senna, much needed as DRS will get enabled next time by. Hopefully everyone can make it cleanly through the castle section here. Such a tricky place for drivers to get right. Everyone has made it through cleanly, but Lajovic 4 tenths back from our leader Senna. Liam and Mihinovic, though, the biggest winners on the start. 4 places. Yonder down a place, obviously, because his teammate cut him off, and that allowed X3 BD to take advantage. And because of the wing damage, that Big B is picked up now. In turn 15, we've got a virtual safety car deployed. So we'll see how everyone copes with that, making sure no one gets drive-thrus. We had lots of people get drive-thrus yesterday in the Tier 1 event of this race. But soft tires, though, for Logivic and Senna. Mediums for X3 BD and Yonder. Softs for Russell. And interesting from Meridian to go onto the hards there on the start. Callum pits. I'd expect more to do so. Meridian does. Big B does. Let us know what you think will happen. We see Waiso comment EXFL sound and domination. I'll accept your friend request, Mythic, in just a moment once this virtual safety car ends. Should be able to join off my name now, I'm pretty sure. I made it to where it's not only friends can see I'm appeared online. Others can too as well. That's what the issue was for people trying to join off my name earlier. And Milred, the only one to pick up a drive-through from that. He has hit trouble, and now he's going to have to let his teammate go and take advantage. And now he's going to challenge Mihinovic before he serves the drive-through side by side here at turn 7, which becomes single file come the castle section. Saw the other AlphaTauri teammate, Liam, bouncing off the walls too. But Milred, a very, very costly drive-through indeed. Don't see a friend request here. EXFL Senna added me. Radiant added. That's it. Let me try to invite Mythic through the game. There you go. You should go. But Mihinovic has been overtaken, and now Milred is out. Milred has crashed before serving the drive-through. Yonder got overtaken just before that, and the virtual safety car has been deployed once again for the 2nd time. We'll see if this gets upgraded. It's now been upgraded to a full safety car. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, if you are on the soft tires, you could make it the rest of the way by pitting on the mediums or hards. If you're on the mediums, you're likely going to pit for the hards. But does anyone gamble it and try to go for the mediums and get the rest of the way on their tires? It happened in Brazil. We'll see if it happens again from any of the drivers taking any gambles. In the meantime, Senna had a really good start, though. He was able to pull away and able to make Logivic vulnerable to X3BD, who's been right all over the back of him as well. A chain reaction affected Big B on the start. He got damage, and now he's going to be right back up here in the thick of things once the safety car does come in about 3 laps time. But, yep, we'll see who pits, who doesn't. Safety car deployed. Yep. That second lead that he had and was able to pull away with has now been vanished. Luckily for Yonder, though, he'll have to have a double stack, but the lucky part is, which I say luckily because of, is he's not right behind his teammate. He can kind of back off and give a gap to make sure you don't double stack too badly and lose places. So Senna's in. No, he's not. Yes, he is. That is very interesting that he decided, I'm going to go in, then I'm not, and then I'm going to go in again. Will the stewards want to have a look at that becomes the question. We're now going to watch everybody come through and make sure they get within the white lines. Mythic stays out. Ben stays out. And I'm sure these guys, Liam, Ben, Ridian, Callum, and Big B, who all just pitted, we'll see if they stay out too. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. Yeah, everybody pitting. Oh, Ben crashed. Did he hit somebody? Trying to catch back up. No, he may have tried to pit, and I think he crashed from it. Yeah, everyone getting caught back up, and everyone pitting, going to the hard tires. So, we've lost 2 from this race, and from what Lodgevic was saying to me prior to tonight's event, he was saying how these races have seemed like they've caused a lot more chaos or closer racing, either one of the two. And I'll tell you right now, we're about to find out on this safety car restart if that will be the case. Will we have closer racing? Will it be chaotic? Well, we already have 2 retirements within 4 laps, so we'll find out. In the meantime, let's do a little run through the field before the safety car does come in. Ben, leading for Mercedes right now. And Mercedes are second in the combined constructors. 5th in the constructor standings heading into today, so we'll find out if this strategy pays off for him, getting maybe another safety car later on, or if he has to pit again. But under the green flag conditions, he's yet to pit yet. Mythic for Alfa Romeo lagged out of the session and stays out on soft tires. Trying to go for a little bit of a gamble here. Trying maybe to get another safety car and see if that works out. So far, the way the safety cars have gone, though, have not really worked out for the drivers. Considering Brazil, they did not get a second safety car. We'll find out if they get a second safety car in this event tonight. But Alfa Romeo, they're 4th in the combined constructors. And as for Mythic, wasn't the best of races in Brazil, but you can always turn it around in Baku, especially with a doubleheader. XFL Senna won from pole position and took his first Tier 2 win just a moment ago. In Brazil. See if we can cap it off going 2 for 2 here. Just lagged back from the pack, it looks like. Lodgevic DNF'd in Brazil, having issues there, got in a collision, so he decided to call it quits in the pits. Well, you can always recover in a second race, as I was just saying, and this is the perfect opportunity for him to show that. He had a podium in the most recent race. We'll find out if you can take that podium one step closer with a race victory. McLaren lead the combined, and they lead the Constructors' Championship. As for X3BD running out our top 5, as the safety car comes in, he'll be the last driver we go over. He's looking for yet another Mercedes double points finish, and we'll see if he can do it. He was in a lot of battles just last race in Brazil. Big B and Callum, who had trouble on the start. A new life for them, though, with the safety car restart. More hope, and it means 2 guys will not score points from this race, with them 2 being 11th and 12th, and we have 12 runners left. So we'll see how it happens. When does the leader Ben go? We gotta wait for the safety car to come into the pits and not make the same mistake Lodgevic did last time. Safety car's in the pits, so he can choose to accelerate now, but when will he go pedal to the metal? And he's back on it. Back on the gears we go. And we already have Russell and X3BD swapping positions before the line. We'll see if anything happens there from it. But now Senna takes over second place, and in the background, I think that was almost way too deep from X3BD. But those new tires getting up to temperature just in time. Usually the hard tires do not have that happen where you get up to temperature, but I think he's timed it just perfect, warming up his tires. And now Yonder try to look through to get for 5th place here. EXFL Russell's getting up to 5th on Logivic, and now Yonder will take the place from his teammate. No, he doesn't. He concedes the place. Either way, we have a move here from the AlphaTauri, a little late in the corner. That's Liam on the inside there. Now the outside, Yonder lets him go. Yonder lets Mihinovic go, and now he's in a Williams sandwich. In the meantime, the lead is at stake. Here comes Senna around the outside. He bounced off the wall. We'll see if he picked up any damage, but now Ben compromised with the inside line here. Gonna push him almost into the barrier. That became very, very tight and hairy right there. That invites X3BD into the party, and the whole field within DRS come the next lap or two when it gets enabled. That's how tight this field has got from that stack up there between the two leaders almost coming together. And now Russell will use his battery to try to get up 2 places, which would be the net lead if he can do so. So quite the chaotic safety car restart, and it's still not done. Liam gets Logivic. Logivic gets back Liam. It's a little swapperoo here for 6th place, and down the inside, he's going to go in Mythic. He wanted to go for it. Contact. Logivic in the barrier. Resets, and now has damage. So his good day for the 2nd time is coming undone. And now big crash. Big crash. Liam out of the race. He's had a shunt coming out of the castle. And Callum tries to avoid and hits the barrier. Smacks into it. Now for the lead. EXFL Senna and Ben. Contact. Big contact. Into turn 1. Senna will try the outside line because of it. Ben squeezed. And now Russell and X3BD try to go through. Almost 3 wide there. X3BD up to 2nd place. I guess Ben tried to defend for his teammate here, who is on the fresher tires, already pitted. His teammate Ben is not. And now it's still 2nd place on the cards. Senna getting the move done. And Yonder through on Mythic and crash. That's a crash between the Alpine and the Alfa Romeo. That was Mythic and EXFL Russell. I think X3BD got a piece of it as well because he's fell back a ton of places. Now we're side by side here at turn 6. And Mythic getting all out of shape from his lagged out car. And now for the lead. Ben has just let Senna go. But will he let him go for any longer? Will Ben try to challenge back at this race lead? If he does, this will invite Yonder to the party. And now Ben losing a bit of the rear, having a snap. Battle becomes a big one for P4 now. Ridian leading the train once again. Big B in the train. Mihinovic trying to recover. And we'll see if they do so. And Liam's not happy with somebody because he's just said some expletives in the tier 2 chat. It's both AlphaTauris out of the race. Find out what happens then. Yonder picking up the fastest lap, running P3. DRS now enabled here. Everyone closing in here come turn 1. Find out if they keep it that way. Ridian as well, not able to pull DRS, but he's able to at least keep his competitors close and within striking distance, but not enough to overtake. Oh! Russell clipped the inside wall. And now he'll look to make sure it doesn't happen again. Mihinovic around the outside of Big B. Making some nice overtakes once again. He's through, up into 5th. Now, Yonder's going to try to get through on Ben here, who is not pitted yet. One of 2 drivers yet to pit. Let's see if he does so anytime soon. Battle's still not done for 2nd place. It's still not done for 4th either. And that was Ridian letting Mihinovic go. And charge up to the field if he wants to score some more points for the team, which he's already done in Brazil. 3-second gap though with EFXL Senna to Ben now. Does Ben pit anytime soon? No, he'll defend from yonder. Here comes yonder. Charging, 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 and through. Into second. Senna taking the fastest lap. Behind that, no moves can be made unless it's going to be in the braking zone, and none of them will be made. So yonder will use some battery to try to defend. He's got to do some bit of battery left. Same with Ben. Minovic as well. Just another train here with these guys just staying single file. Logic fastest lap. So he's not done for points. He wants to get some points, and I'm sure he will. Mythic lagged out. Still yet to pit. Ben yet to pit. Here we go. EX Russell with momentum. Trying to have a peek down the inside. Can't do it. X3BD as well was about to do the same on Callum, but he's just punted the back of him. Oh, that's X3BD out. He's hit the castle section barrier, and will this cause a safety car? No, but everyone who's finishing will get points. Looks of things now. That's a nice sight to see if you're Logivic. We've had trouble earlier on. Here's the battle. It's 5th place in the cards. Ridian defending it. Not for much longer. Wow, he's pitting though. So that got tied with EXFL Russell and Big B right there to pounce. Big B through, Russell through, and Ridian pit again. He already pitted once. Mythic will do the same. Logivic can make these mediums last the rest of the way, so he's now got a chance for P8. Maybe more if they keep crashing like they did in front of him. He'll take yet another fastest lap. Now, where does Ridian come out of the pits? He's ahead of Logivic, so this will get interesting then. And Russell's gone too deep. He's had to use the runoff, and he resets to try to not lose so much time. Now, Minovic is on the run for a podium here on those hard tires. In comparison to Ben, who will definitely have to pit again, as we mentioned. He's not pitted yet at all. But EXFL Senna running away with it. Weiss, so I think you're going to be happy with that. EXFL Senna domination, you say. Not too long ago. And more yellow flags. Ridian has hit the castle section barrier. And he's having a tough time trying to reverse. He has to reset because of that. So unfortunate for Ridian to have that happen. We've got 3rd place up for grabs. Mihanovic on the attack. And DRS applied. Really go around the outside. This is going to be late in the braking zone. Ridian, his teammate, is around again. But the up and under could be used here from Mihanovic. Can't get the switchback done. Oh, he's going to hit the back of him. And EXFL Russell is retired in the pit lane. But Mihanovic leapfrogs himself up into 3rd place. And Ridian pitting for yet another time here. We had 9 finishers in Australia to open up the season. Looks like we're going to have 9 once again tonight with Tier 2. Not many battles happening on the track, but we got Callum and DRS, who still can take some spots. Logivic up to P7 from the retirement from Russell. The lead is 2 seconds now instead of 3. So, this happens. Ridian complaining about cold tires. That's what happened to him. We'll see what those cold tires do to anyone else. Mihinovic, Yonder, Senna, they all played it safe, pitting for the hards right there when the safety car came out. Got other guys now in mediums. Radian on softs now. So no matter what, Radian's going to get points here, assuming he finishes. But now, it's a matter of, can he steal fastest lap from anyone else? Logivic had it, I'm pretty sure, not too long ago. Does he still have it? Yes. And now, Callum defending from Big B. Or sorry, Big B defending from Callum, excuse me. I got that mixed up, but Callum is still going to try to go for it. And he waits a little bit longer. Into the pit lane is Ben, going for soft tires here, believing that hards is not the way to go, and I'd agree, because he had yet to pit. And now we'll see if there's a race between him and Logivic. That will likely be the only other battle we have on track. Right now, the battle is for 4th place. Big B defending. Callum trying to intercept the place. Cannot do it. Big B hangs on once again. And the gap between Yonder and Senna staying very steady at 2 seconds. We'll see if Yonder can try to catch back up. Mihinovic is caught back up, obviously, from the qualifying ban. Going to take yet another podium. Not only trying to make himself a driver of the day contender with this performance, but he's also making himself a driver of the event contender. I say of the event because we've had 2 races here in this event span of the doubleheader. And Russell apologizing to X3BD. He feels like he may have caused a collision with, but Yonder made a mistake there. And because of that mishap, Mihinovic is now about to be within DRS distance of Yonder. It's going to get interesting because this is really the battle between our championship leaders here. Yonder versus Mihinovic. Would have been Logivic heading into this race, but Logivic had trouble in Brazil, retired from it, and now he's about to score a P7 finish here tonight, which at least there's some points in the card, right? But yeah, not looking good. No battery from Big B in comparison to Callum. I think that's where Callum is gaining so much here. And he backs out there, not going to go for it come that corner. And Ben has lagged out from P6. Since there's no battles on track right now, we'll see if we can get her an invite. Alright, so Yonder, because of falling back, has closed up the battle for 2nd place on track. However, does Mihinovic force him into an error? Does Mihinovic overtake and then try to go for Senna? We've got 5 laps remaining next time by. Alright, so DRS will be enabled here for Mihinovic to try to make this move. 40% in the battery compared to Yonder's 65. Does Yonder defend this? Yes, he does. Turns on the battery for just a split second as Ben joins back. Can Mihinovic go through? He's going to try run the outside. Cannot do it. Now he's going to try to make the move here. I'm going to assume come turn 4. Or turn 3, excuse me. Callum got Big B. And Ben back into the pits because of his AI, I think. And now around the outside, going to be battling wheel to wheel here. Come turn 2, turn 3. Excuse me, contact. Yonder pinched him into the wall. And luckily, after that's all done, Mihinovic does get the place. I think Yonder realized that it was him at fault, so he backed out trying to go for any extracurricular moves after that was done. So now Mihinovic will try to challenge after our race leader, and Big B still in DRS here of Callum for P4, so that's not done yet either. Especially if Yonder makes any sort of mistake here in the closing stages. It still can be a podium for any of those two. And a team that would desperately need it based on how they're doing in the constructors, in the combined constructors, would be Haas. .7 the gap. Got 4 laps remaining. See if you can catch down EX Senna. Williams came into today in the Constructors' Championship only having 4 points. This will be a big payday for them, finishing up there with Mihinovic. Rudian going to score points for the team too, assuming he finishes this event. But we'll have to find out. We've still got laps remaining. A lot can happen. We had a safety car already happen once. And just a reminder, folks, if you want to tune into the action in BRL here for the next week, we will be in Silverstone for Tier 3, Tier 2, and Tier 1. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And Ben threw on the lagged out car of Mythic, who ran out of Game Pass. So that's why he's not in the session. Unfortunate for him. Unsure if they'll count that for him still finishing the race, even though he's not in the session anymore. But I could understand him at least wanting points still, even though his car finished. Even though he didn't, technically. So we'll see what happens there. In the meantime, Mihinovic not really gaining that gap down, but has similar battery in comparison to Senna. Yonder still has a lot there, so if anything happens between these top two in the closing stages, he's got battery to catch them down. Callum in comparison to Big B, about a 20% difference there. Lajovic has 55% of the battery. He still can catch, I think, Big B and Callum if they continue to battle. So P4 is not off the cards yet at all for Lajovic. A little bit of false hope maybe there. Ben, 68% of the battery, 71 from Mythic's lagged out car, and Ridian, 57% of the battery. So there's a run down through your battery. The gap now with 3 laps remaining, 2.2 seconds. Looking for a third podium this season, Mihinovic is, if he can pull it off. Ben, fastest lap though, so he steals that from Lajovic. But yeah, it'll be interesting to find out if he can maintain a podium if anything goes wrong here. Because he is gaining the gap down, he's really pushing to find that time. But Senna's got a little bit more battery in the tank, we'll find out very, very soon. 0.7, 0.6. He's really caught Senna out because Senna just made a mistake there on traction. 1.2. We're about to get DRS enabled here in just a second for these guys in the top two. And we're going to have a race on our hands if that's the case. 1.2 from what was 3 seconds back. If he can pull this off, we basically see what happened in Brazil happen again. Maybe another drag race of the line. 1.1. Battery being turned on again. The detection point is just in a split second here. Ridian's crashed. We can't have a safety car any longer, but that's our 6th retirement from the event. But now, Mihinovic does have DRS here. And the gap is 0.8. On the main straight, Big B closing in here on Callum H. Not close enough come the corner, but Mihinovic 6/10 now the gap. And the guy who this really can put in prime position is Yonder. If these two at any point come to collision in the last 2 laps here, Yonder is in prime position. And as the championship leader, I would want these two to collide. And the gap is continuing to close down. 4/10. 3/10. But he's just continuing to put that pressure on Senna to where he made him make a traction mistake in this area just a lap or so ago. And now the continuous pressure he's putting on him does back them into Yonder, meaning if they do crash, Yonder doesn't have to throttle it so much. But even Yonder having this much battery, though, is very crucial for him because you can still gain if they end up making contact a lot more and have a lot more advantage on the straights. But one lap to go this time. And Senna loses the rear. And did he do that on purpose, maybe, to try to get himself DRS here soon? The detection point is coming up in just the thick of time. But Senna is holding on, but for how much longer? Mihinovic applies DRS, and on the last lap, before the last lap actually, he takes over the lead of this race. Is that all Senna could have done there with Mihinovic? Mihinovic had a qualifying ban, gained a lot of spots in lap 1, didn't have trouble unlike Brazil, but now he's leading this race with just a lap remaining and having a chance to win it. But Senna is using the battery, turn it all on to have a run to turn 3. Does he go for the lunge? Yes, he does! Does he make it work? No! Mihinovic, though, is holding on for now, and Yonder caught up a second from this battling. I don't think it'll be enough for him, but he has the chance here to pull off something miraculous if they do collide. I've seen it happen before where the two leaders kind of collide, so we'll find out come this finish, but they're in opposite positions from what they were at Brazil just less than an hour ago. But Mihinovic, from a qualifying ban, is trying to win another race in BRL. His first came with Aston. His second could come with Williams, and we got yellow flags. That is Big B around, facing the wrong way. But similar to yesterday, it was a Williams in this sort of position, battling for victory yesterday in Tier 1. This time it's opposite positions, and I don't know if the gap's going to be close enough. He's going to have to use all his battery here, the gap being 6/10. This could be a drag race to the line, but with Mihinovic out in front, he's had it all here from a qualifying ban and had a better chance compared to Brazil. However, Senna's closing. He's closing the gap a lot, but Mihinovic cuts him off, and they wreck across the line. Mihinovic, though, from a qualifying ban, worst to first, he pulls off the victory, and it's his second win of the season. Senna comes across less than a tenth the gap once again, and we still got a drag race to the line. Lajovic cannot claim P4 over Callum. Callum, a really good result there. Yonder with the podium. Yonder, third podium of the season. Mihinovic, third podium of the season. Ben comes across 6th. Our last runners are going to come across with Mythic being P7, Big B being P8. And we're now going to give our top 2, who won both races here, Brazil and Baku, a post-race interview. All right, here's your podium results here in just a moment. Celebration for the Swedish driver kicks underway. Worst to first in Baku. Another drag race across the line. Isn't that mental? Controversial striking again. We already have drivers talking about maybe moving too late was the Williams driver of Mildred, or not Mildred, excuse me, of Mihinovic. Well, there's your results from worst to first. This time he pulls it off over EXFL Senna, who takes home P2. Yonder delivers podium. Callum as well up there. Lajovic P5. Then Mythic, Big B, Ridian, Russell. X3BD, Liam, Ben, Milred are other drivers who raced today, but 9th through 14th, they did not finish tonight's event in Baku. Unfortunate for them. We'll give the drivers one more minute to come in if they want to do a post-race interview, but in the meantime, we'll let you know where we are next week. And hey, follow the Bozzy Racing League Twitch. You know, we got a YouTube setup as well. Therefore, you guys can watch the previous races now and have those uploaded. Alfa Romeo, big win in the constructors there from them to have double points with their drivers done. There you go. Here's your final results, folks. Britain coming up next week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday for the action here in BRL. Make sure you follow if you want to continue watching the fun action for Tier 3. Going to kick off on Sunday. Tier 1 on Monday and Tier 2 on Tuesday. So in the meantime, I'm your commentator, Ryan Searles, signing off here from tonight's event. We'll see you next time in BRL. Stay tuned in the Discord for the Stewards Report, the race results, the standings, all that cool stuff to come out. And yeah, we'll see you when this gets uploaded to the YouTube, which will be nice as well. In the meantime, folks, have a good one. Hope you enjoyed the action, and we'll see you next time here in Bozzy Racing League. Ryan Searles, your commentator, saying good night and goodbye.